What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of PSR. Today we have a very exciting gun. It is the Space Tavor. This is a Tavor that's chambered in 9mm and is integrally suppressed. If that doesn't get your panties wet, I don't know what will. We're going to get into shooting this, but first, I got to thank KAK Industry for being the channel sponsor for Print Shoot Repeat. What does KAK make? Well, they make all sorts of parts for your ARs. They are based right here in the USA, and they have been at it for just over 10 years, and that's pretty based. Thank you to KAK Industry. I couldn't do it without you. And if you want 10% off your order, definitely don't use the code PSR at KAK Industry. Thank you, KAK, for sponsoring this channel. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this baby, shall we? It is a Tavor, which, if you're not familiar with the Tavor, it is a bullpup, okay? So the bullpup, the way it works is you've got your action behind the trigger. This allows for the gun to be much shorter in length and therefore a lot more compact and easily maneuverable in tight spaces. This is chambered in 9mm, which it didn't start its life out as a 9mm. It started its life out as a 300 Blackout. It was a rifle cartridge and then converted to a pistol caliber, which of course 9mm is, and it's fed by these Colt mags. You can also get these in 5.56. That's probably the most common that the Tavor is chambered in. But what makes this special is, of course, this integral suppressor on the front. So this is a Ratworks integral suppressor. What Ratworks does is they make these integral suppressors for various platforms. There's one for the Evo and there's one for this. This is an aluminum handguard that they sell that goes along with the suppressor that they make, and it attaches right to the front of the Tavor. So this is a rifle, so it's 16-inch barrel, and that adds a little bit on the end with the suppressor and the can, but it kind of looks absolutely perfect in my opinion with this rail forward here. Now the optic on top is a Meprolite M21. It was designed for the Tavor, which is pretty neat. This particular Tavor has a upgraded trigger. It has the Geissele trigger in it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that shoots. And if you don't know anything about IWI, Israeli Weapon Industries, they are an Israeli company and they make pretty excellent firearms. One of my favorites is the Jericho, which of course is based on the CZ75. So as far as the manual operation here, we have our charging handle on the side. We have our bolt hold open right here, and that is closing it, is pressing it forward. And then we have our mag here and our mag release. We have a linked trigger here, so the trigger on a bullpup is in actuality back here, and then this is just a linkage to this part right here, and that is where the trigger is. The safety selector is very similar to an AR, right back here. Now the cool thing about this is that you could run this suppressor with 300 Blackout and 9mm. It's a 30 cal suppressor, so if the owner of this wanted to switch it back to 300 Blackout, it might take a little while, but you can obviously do that with the barrel and bolt. That's all you need. This is, believe it or not, the first bullpup we've had on the channel, so that's going to be a lot of fun, and I say we just shoot this thing, see how it does. I'm really curious as to how quiet this can is and how it functions and how it is to shoot. So let's, without further ado, get into it. Alrighty, we got our Tavor in 9mm, integrally suppressed. Before I start shooting, I got to thank KAK Industry again for providing the 9mm used for this video. So KAK doesn't make ammo, but they provided the ammo for me for this video. So thank you again to KAK. All right, let's do it. Got to make sure I don't grab it by the... I want to grab it here, but that is not how you grab a bullpup. The trigger is right here. Safety's off, and we got our optic here. Let's try it. Oh, yes. Wow, this trigger feels really nice actually for a bullpup. Wow, jeez. Oh, wow. It's hard to tell because I got the Ear Pro on, kind of how quiet it is, but it feels very soft recoiling. It is a heavier gun, obviously, but wow, that felt great. Let's shoot it some more. One of the cooler things about this gun, in addition to it being so spaced out and integrally suppressed, is this optic. This is the Meprolite M21, and it uses a fiber optic for the emitter, basically. It's not really an emitter, but it's similar to the ACOG, I believe, in that regard. But the window is so big, and that reticle is really cool. So I'm going to try to give you guys a good look as to like what it looks like. I'm going to try to fire it through the camera, see if we can do it, but you guys should see this reticle. It's pretty neat. All right, one way to kind of tell how good a trigger is to just kind of try to do a little mag dump, see how it goes. We're going to see if I can keep these shots on target. And we're only about 15 yards away from the target. But let's see how quick we can get this Geissele to run on this integrally suppressed 9mm Tavor. All right, here we go. Oh. And we have our bolt hold open, guns on safe. So that's a cool feature, is that the bolt hold does work with these Colt mags. So very nice. Quick overview of the mag swap. So it's got a secondary trigger, and this is actually the mag release. So you get done firing, put your finger right here, pull that mag out. Pretty intuitive, pretty simple. Also, another thing I forgot to mention was this actually has integrated backup iron sights, and they kind of flip up out of the pick rail, which is really cool. You can see there's our rear and there's our front, and they co-witness with this optic. So this package is pretty much dialed in, ready to go, even without an optic, but I find that pretty sweet. All right, our integrally suppressed Tavor. It's a little warm, but it's not too bad. Figured we make it a little bit warmer, and we do a little mag dump from the hip, of course. And the future is now. Oh man. Smells great. All right, well, in conclusion, I had to do a little slob squat against this tree. We're out in nature. It's a beautiful way to enjoy the world. Go out, touch grass, have fun, breathe the fresh air. It's good for you. In conclusion, this thing is a freaking blast. I want to thank the anonymous donor for this episode, for this rifle, because it's not mine. They asked to be anonymous, so we're going to leave it like that. But this suppressor is pretty chunky, so it really didn't get too hot. It did a great job. It would be cool to just know what the decibel level of this suppressor is. It's not particularly long, but I mean, it's so cool. It looks so freaking spaced out. And obviously, if you're familiar with the NFA, you know you got to go through a long waiting process and pay Uncle Sam $200 to get one of these. But if that's something you wanted to do, this is a cool option. If you have a Tavor, being able to suppress it for 300 blackout is also pretty badass. Now, is this thing a practical gun? Absolutely not. This is just something that you pull out probably to show your friends and have fun at the range with. I don't really see much of an application for it because it is pretty damn heavy, and with that suppressor on it, you know, obviously it is a 16-inch barrel, but I would say it's more practical in a 300 blackout configuration than it is in a 9mm configuration, but it is a really fun tool if you wanted to train with it for cheaper with the 9mm. This is pretty awesome, but what a great range toy. I might have to get me one of these Meprolite optics. It's really fun, and I like that fiber optic style with the reticle. Looks really cool. This trigger guard is also very futuristic, and this just looks like a Halo gun or something you'd see out of a video game, and that's just what makes it so awesome. As far as getting used to the manual of arms, it is a little difficult to memorize that, but once you get used to shooting it, I'm sure you could get good at doing mag changes and reloads and all that stuff. But like I said, I want to thank the anonymous donor for letting me shoot this thing. It was awesome. I want to shoot it some more, but we must move on. And that brings me to, if you are on the pooper and delaying the wipe, I want to salute you for staying with me this long, watching the episode. I really appreciate it. If you haven't liked or subscribed, I would consider it, and leave a comment just for the algorithm. It does help greatly. And if you have been unsubscribed, just double check, because YouTube loves to do that for me. And I want to thank you guys again for watching. That's been another episode of PSR. Love you. And go tell someone you love that you love them, because that's a good thing to do. Spread the positivity and get outside and touch the grass. All right, till next time. Sorry, you posted cringe.